Hey guys, and welcome to part 2 of me and Andy Bell's Premier League predictions. So we did the first 10 in the previous. Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah. So welcome guys, and this is part 2. So we've got the first 10 teams out of the way, and so we'll be looking kind of more at the top 10. We still have one more relegation candidate. I think that's pretty obvious, but we'll see. You never know. Man United could go down. But before we get into that, I sure hope they do. That'd be funny as fuck. I know you'd love that too.
My day.
Best day of my life. So before we get into the second part of this, just a quick word about joining and becoming a member of the channel. It's only 99 pence. You get exclusive videos. You get to find out who's on the Greenwood and Mulliner show, and you also get access to our Discord, which is new and improved. And we've got one of the guys on there actually made a bot for us, and it gives us updates when videos come out. So it's another way to get notifications for the videos, since YouTube is all fucky with that sort of stuff. And so we're working on that, and obviously Lee, you've probably seen on the socials about he's got a brand new little space downtown in Newcastle to record videos, and it's like a chill space pretty much. So he was talking about having members, inviting them there and doing videos and stuff. So definitely we've got some exciting stuff going on at NFTV, and a way you can be a part of is the membership. And Andy's a member and he's on a video. So,
from a member's point of view as well, Steve, I will say that the new lad, that's apologies, mate, if you're watching. I can't remember your name based on your tag name in Discord, but he's not making the Discord a little bit more interactive for, isn't he, for the members?
Yeah.
We're getting all the NFTV Twitter on it. We're getting everything on it. Hats off to you, mate. You've really made a difference. And
100%.
Not only that, the news of Milburn House for Lee's been quite open and said, look, if we're there, get in touch, come and have a cup of coffee and have a chat, and I think it's gonna add a new lease of life to
a personal connection.
Yeah, exactly, to the members. That they're going to have a little bit more interaction with the when I started watching this, it was a case of I would love to meet like Johnny, and we're gonna all the members are gonna have that opportunity now.
Yeah, it's just really cool. And that's the thing about this community. I love it. I absolutely love it because it's real, it's authentic, and we're all Toon fans, and it's just great to have another way to connect outside of social media and stuff. It's really, really cool stuff. So definitely check out the membership. Now let's get into the meat of this. So we still do have one relegation candidate, obviously 3 to go down. I'm assuming you're going with Bournemouth, right?
Why would you think that?
Well, because
yes. I'm joking, mate. Yes, so I definitely think Bournemouth are. What I would say is you could put Bournemouth in the category above, but you could put Fulham or Everton in their place. I think there's going to be 5. So Southampton, Leeds, Bournemouth, Fulham, Everton, and then there's always one surprise. So you're probably looking at a newly promoted side like a Forest, but I think you've got to look at the business Bournemouth have done, and you've got to say that they're probably hot favourites to finish rock bottom.
To be honest, I will make an argument for them. I think they've kept their best players. They might not have added, which I still think they do need to do. They did bring in Marcus Tavernier, though, from Middlesbrough for about 13 mil. And they brought in Ryan Fredericks and Joe Rothwell on a free. So those are 3 all right signings. But what I think, I'm going to make 2 cases for them surviving. I have them surviving, but this is more of your picks. I'm going to make 2 cases. Number one, they've kept a lot of their squad, and there are some good players on there that I quite like, and that I think will make an impact at the Prem level. So they haven't lost anyone. They've lost Robbie Brady on a free to Preston. All right, whatever. Gary Cahill, he left. He's 36 anyways. And then a guy named Gavin Kilkenny and Zebo Ibn Rossi to Cambridge. All right, whatever. So they aren't losing big-time guys like Dom Solanke, who, yes, he is unproven at this level, but so is Mitrovic. So if people are thinking, oh well,
I
Mitrovic.
find that harsh. Sorry, Steve. Mitrovic, his first season in the Premier League, he got 9 goals in a team that was relegated.
Right.
Solanke's never done that. I get what you're saying. But I think
I know what you mean. It's a back and forth.
In 44 games kind of puts him in a different category as Solanke.
Yes, but they do both fit in the category of probably too good for the championship, but it's yet to be proven if they can consistently be a Premier League. That was Mitrovic's only good Prem season, right? The 9 goals, that's his top. And that was what?
No, I think, did he not get 10 in the season that Fulham got it? I mean, the problem that you've got with Mitrovic is he'll get you goals, but will he get you enough to keep you in the league?
Right.
That is the thing. I've always been of the opinion that Mitrovic will get you goals if you play a certain way, but I question whether the way that you've got to play is good enough to stay in the league.
Right.
Because you've got to be quite expansive. He's not going to run in behind. He hasn't got the pace to run in behind. He's got to play on the shoulder, so therefore you have to get balls in the box, which means you have got to get people forward, which leaves space in behind. That's my worry about Mitrovic. You need a midfielder that's someone like a Madison, even someone that's able to play balls, flicked balls over the top, clever balls out wide. If you put some Mitrovic in a side like Liverpool, where they cross from deep, like with Trent, you get you back the balls. But he would take part of the team away as well for me. So it's, but I think there was a little bit of a. I think Solanke's got a lot to do before he's spoken. Ben, you've got to look at Mitrovic's international record as well.
Right. No, that's true. For Serbia.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to.
That's okay. No, and also another case I'll make personally for Bournemouth is also people are counting them down and out. But if I was a member of Bournemouth, I'd be like, yo, guys, we're not a yo-yo club. It's not too long ago they were a consistent Premier League side 5 straight years. Obviously that's in the past, but they at least have something where they're like, we've done it before, or the club has at least done it before. Fulham, they go up and down. We know what we're getting. Norwich, we know what we're getting. Clubs like that.
They've been smart though. They're smart as well though. They've got a squad that, let's say that the season goes perfectly well for them and they stay in the league. They've got a squad there that's given them a good chance of staying in the league. But if the worst thing does happen and they do get relegated, the same side is a good base to get you back up again. You could say it's a very pragmatic way of looking at it, but it's a bit. At the end of the day, they don't want to take the risks.
Yes,
and financially pay for it later on, and they have to sell all of their players. So I think it's a strategic gamble that it is a gamble in the sense that they're not investing heavily, but a lot of them players in that squad have earned a chance to have a chance in the Premier League.
Ryan Christie's a pretty good player, was good at Celtic. Jaden Anthony, I'm also very intrigued by, 22-year-old left winger. David Brooks, obviously, 25-year-old Welsh right winger. I think they've got some decent players. Ben Pearson, center mid, he's okay. Philip Billing actually had a really good season from central midfield. I think he scored around 10 goals last year, so you've got goals there at least. I mean, let's see if it all translates to a Prem level, but I understand why people have.
I've admired from a distance when he first came through, big athletic lad. I think it was 19 when he broke through into the team, and you were thinking big things for him. He kind of plateaued, but he's got Premier League. One thing you can say about the kid is he's got 3-4 seasons of Premier League experience. As much as his age, you would say, well, he's still a young player. He's going to add a lot of experience to that squad, and I admire the way that they've went about it. They're not taking a huge gamble. I'm sure they'll probably spend a little bit more before the end of the summer. It might be a loan deal. It might be a few million. But just to add to the numbers, because they're going to have to add numbers because the squad's going to get pushed.
Yeah, exactly. Another player I quite like is Jefferson Lairman, the 27-year-old Colombian defensive midfielder. I think he's pretty decent. So I think that they'll survive. I think they'll scrape it because, again, they're a very well-run club and they do things a bit differently. And honestly, no one's expecting much of them. And remember, look what happened last time that they happened. And they've got a decent manager too, there too. So
the one thing you can say about them is this time they haven't got Eddie Howe.
What?
They haven't got Eddie Howe this time.
Yes, that's true. Scott Parker now, yeah.
Just a cliche comment, but you know.
Yeah. So let's see. We've got that sorted out. So let's move on to, I don't know, who do you have finishing? Let's talk Newcastle, our guys.
Oh, a bit early, isn't it? Okay. You're right where you were first time.
Above Villa and Nottingham?
Yeah, I think you could be looking at
7?
Do I dare say it?
I got us finishing 7th. Me.
I think we could finish 7th, but we have got to get someone like a Madison over the line to be looking at that.
Striker too.
Yeah, we need a backup striker, and we need that creative. I mean, if you look at it in the sense of, let's say Madison signed. Now, a lot of Newcastle related YouTubers are all having this, you know, how many videos have we had in the last week of them all discussing, is Madison worth £60 million? Well,
yes,
my question to you is, if Cucurella, who's played one season in the Premier League, can go to for £52.5 million as a wing back for that money, then...
And Madison's done it for about 3 or 4 years in the Prem, and he was really good for them last year, even though Leicester were inconsistent.
You've also, then others will have the argument, well, Madison gets injured. Well, he played 30 Premier League games last season. Yes, okay, he might have missed 8 games. He missed a couple of games in Europe, but majority of the season he's available.
Yep.
Not only that, 20 goal contributions. 20. When was the last time any Newcastle player got 20 goal contributions in a season?
Did Jose Perez even get that?
No, I think he got, 12 goals, 5 assists a season before he left off. 4 assists, whatever it be.
Pushing 20, but not quite 20. It's been a while since we've had a guy that gets 20, yeah.
But when you're looking at Grealish going for 100 million with, 6-7 goal assists, 6-7 goal contributions last season in a Man City team. Yes, he didn't play every week, granted, but you would be expecting a bigger output for that for £100 million. You've then got, how long has it? Chilwell's been at Chelsea, a couple of seasons. That was £50 million.
Yep. Yeah,
Calvin Phillips, 42.5 million. Now, as much as a good player Calvin Phillips is, he's not going to have an impact going forward, or what you pay the money for. Let's be honest. You always pay the big bucks for the players that A, get you off your seat, and B, score goals. Madison does both.
Yes.
I think £60 million, as much as it is an outlay, it is an investment and it's worth.
Yeah.
He's worth £60 million.
So, I'm in complete agreement with you too, to be honest. I am too, yeah. So you got us finishing 7th. How you structure
the deal. You don't want to spend the £60 million and not be able to go and get a striker. If someone comes available that's been a target, and then be sitting on your hands going, oh, well, we've overspent, so we can't do anything.
Yeah.
Do something in the deal where it makes it possible, where if a striker that you've been after comes available, you've still got something to work with.
You know what PSG did when they wanted Mbappe, but they got Neymar in the same window? They told Monaco, look, we got to wait another window. Let's do a loan with an obligation to buy. So you get your money, and they got over 100 million easily for that. They were just like, look, we'll give it to you, but in the next window. So let's call it a loan with an obligation to buy. And also paying in installments like we did with Nick Pope. Paying with installments will also help out with FFP too. Because we're dedicating money in a certain time period, but it's spread out. And that doesn't count against FFP.
You hear the argument. You hear the argument, Leicester are doing this and they're doing that because they're a hard team to get players off, and it's poor business. Look what Harry Maguire's done at Man United for £80 million. It's poor business on Man United. So no, it's good business on Leicester's behalf.
Yeah.
They've getting good money for the players. Chilwell went for £50 million. They've made a good profit on that. They're well known for, and the fact that they've got wealthy owners as well. They don't have to sell.
Right.
But one thing I will say is the fact that we've had one bid rejected and then we've went back in again kind of gives you the feeling that there must be a want on Madison's side to move. There seems to be a tendency that Madison is interested, and if Madison's interested and his head's being turned, then I think Leicester will struggle to keep a hold of him. I personally really, really do hope that we get this one over the line. If it goes towards the end of the window, it goes towards the end of the window. But I just hope that it's not the price tag that stops it.
Yes, same here. I don't know why I'm having camera issues at the moment, but yes, I will try to keep talking. But yeah, no, I think. All right, hold on. I'm gonna remove.
Let's be honest. It makes a change from me having issues.
I know, right? I'm gonna remove myself for 1 sec. Just talk about why you think we'll finish 7th, and I'll give you a question. How many games do you realistically see us winning at home? I think we're gonna finish 7th because of home form. Go.
Home form is going to be absolutely vital. The reason the home form is going to be vital is things like war flags. Arsenal game at the end of the season was something that I probably remember for the next 20 years. It's something I'd never seen for 20 years, and it's something I'll probably remember for 20 years.
Yeah.
That support, I don't think another team, Anfield on a Champions League night over the telly I've witnessed, and that's fantastic. But in Premier League form, we've got to be up there for atmospheres, and it's a 12th man, and I think the home form and the fact that we've getting a game-changing defender, absolute game-changing defender in Botman.
Yeah, no, Botman, I am extremely excited about Sven. The guy's aerially dominant, good with his feet. I think sometimes the only weakness about him is sometimes decision making and the lack of pace. But Dan Burn did pretty all right, and he doesn't exactly have he's not a speedy guy. So I don't think that's going to be an issue, because what Eddie Howe wants and what we've seen through the friendlies against Bilbao, especially the game against Bilbao. I didn't catch much of the Atalanta game, but against Bilbao in that first half, we were playing some really, really nice football. It was center back to midfield it was quick one-touch stuff, but then some of the passes were, I'm going to ditz around a guy and fake it, and then everyone was very comfortable on the ball.
Yep.
That's something that Botman definitely is. And also there were times where Inaki Williams would try to break past Botman, and Botman just went one leg out clean and just got it, and then moved it on to the right side to
that calming presence he has. It's
yeah, exactly.
Not only that, to elaborate on what you asked us before, mate, I'll be honest, you've also got to look at the improvements in players that's already what we have. Sean Longstaff looks a different player in pre-season. Emil Kraft looks a different player. Miggy's, looking at the golden boot next season, as I've joked about in the past.
I hope you're right. To be fair to you, he's
tongue in cheek. But
he's on fire.
And even ESM, let's be honest, ESM against Bilbao, he had his moments when he wanted to take players on, but we've seen him passing the ball, we've seen him linking up play.
Yes.
Okay, I don't want to see him busting the gut to get back. I just want him to see when he does lose the ball to realise that he needs to retreat. And
urgency.
We did see that.
A sense of urgency.
Exactly. It's okay, I've lost the ball. And rather than throw my arms up in the air and scream and shout and act petulant, I need to get back. I need to be aware of what's going on around me. And as much as there's times that you still don't see that from him, it's getting better. And that's, Rome wasn't built in a day. Longstaff looks better. Miggy looks a different player. I'll be honest, looks different player. You're still always going to get that work rate from him, but going forward, end product, he looks a different player.
Yes.
The one thing that I'll say is Bruno, as good as he is in midfield, he's going to be playing a deeper role unless we're bringing in an attacking midfielder. And he's that one player that can unlock doors, and we need another one.
Right.
I think that could be the difference between 9th and 7th.
Yeah.
But again, you've got the problem. If Wilson gets injured, then unfortunately, lads, we've got Chris Spelk up front. I wouldn't even call it Wood, it's Spelk.
But you do see us finishing 7th.
I do, yeah. I can see we're finishing 7th.
I think we will bring in one more name. I do think we will. I don't think I think we will, because whenever
Eddie Howe said it.
Huh?
He said we're working to bring 1/2 players in.
Yeah.
Between now and the end of the window. I think that 1/2 players will all depend on the first player that they're able to bring in. If that first player is able to play in multiple positions, then it's focus on a striker. If they can't get someone like Madison and they go for the striker first, it could be a case of, can that striker play out on the right hand side as well?
Yeah.
If they can, then it might be one player. So
yeah.
we'll see.
And the thing is, why I also think we will bring in another player is because whenever we've had even a slight question about the owners, especially in January, for me, January was huge because that was the first impression we got of them in the market, and they absolutely knocked it out of the park. They backed Eddie Howe. They got him Guimaraes and Dan Byrne and Matt Target on loan, which eventually is a permanent later. They delivered. Yeah. And then in the summer, we've had a pretty good summer. Not amazing. Maybe some people want to think that, oh, this is shit because we have all this money. No. We had Mike Ashley. Like, come on, man. This is slow and steady progress, and the owners are doing what we wanted them to do. And I feel that I trust them. I trust them very, 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 very much. So I think that they will get us another player or two by the end of the window, because these guys, and especially getting in Dan Ashworth, that's the other thing I've liked that we've done. We've brought in guys like a Dan Ashworth, that very, very good sporting directors. We're getting guys up and below. The whole club is improving on the women's side, on the U23 side. Everything is improving, and that's all because of the owners putting the money, time, and the consideration in hiring the right people. I trust them to make Newcastle great again, basically.
As do I, Stephen. I'll be honest, you look on Twitter, I mean, Twitter's Twitter.
Twitter is the most interesting social experiment I've ever seen.
You see so many fans point out, quite rightly, that a lot of clubs are bringing in a lot of players. Yeah. That more players are spending more money as it stands in the summer than we have. My argument to that will be a lot of them players, firstly, aren't at the standard of the players that we're looking at, so therefore there won't be as many suitors for them, which makes our job more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, we have the problem that everybody knows that when Newcastle can come knocking, that they can add a little bit of a premium onto that.
Newcastle
and
tax.
Our owners are having to be careful not to set the president and say, yes, we're going to pay over the top for XYZ.
We don't want to be in a situation, just to give examples of clubs that have failed to do that. QPR, Everton, Man United. I mean, there are instances of clubs who people know that other clubs, when they do business, when they're trying to offload a player, they go to Man United and be like, hey, you want this guy? Because they know that Man United.
You could argue Nunes is in that category.
Nunes?
The money that Liverpool have spent on it.
We'll talk him later, but I think that's gonna be a good sign. But
it's a big subject at the moment. There is frustrated fans out there. I can get it. I'm watching videos day and I'm looking at Twitter every day. I'm looking at Fabrizio Romano's posts, and we're hearing this and everything every day, and it does get, oh God, come on, let's get it sorted. But it's no good just bringing people in for the sake of it. what we've got to look at is the track record other than Chris Wood so far. And you couldn't say, I was joking before Chris felt, I'm making a joke. He is, when he's played for us, he's fulfilled a purpose and he's done a job. It's 25 million. Yes, we may have overspent on him, but he's done a job. He kept us in the league. We had an unbeaten run under him. I don't see us as a club doing that again, spending a fee like that on a player that ultimately will be a squad player in the future. Yeah. They're going to only be spending fees like that on players that are going to come in and improve the first team. And the problem is them players, because we are improving, they're hard to get. And not only that, when you do find them, there's other clubs interested as well.
Like Aston Villa with Diego Carlos. We were in for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Hugo Ekitike went to PSG instead of coming to us.
That's it.
So,
man.
Moussa Diaby, for example, he's going to stay at Bayer Leverkusen for another season because they're in UCL. That's understandable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So you are going to miss out on them. Every club does. But it's nice to be linked with those kind of names, and it makes sense. It's not just these sensational, we bid for Neymar or something like that. No, they're very, very sensible squad-building signings. Some of them hit, and some of them miss. We sign some, we don't. So,
and I've seen a lot of posts in the last 2 days, people saying, well, hang on, Paqueta was meant to be 40, whatever, million, and we've bid the similar money for Maddison. Why don't we just go and pay that for Paqueta? The reason being is because Paqueta's more, as much as he's a Brazilian international, he's still a gamble.
Yeah, it's still a gamble because if I've been following Paqueta's career, when he first left Brazil to go to AC Milan, he was awful. He started off kind of good, but he honest to God, there was a reason why they sold him to Lyon, because they were like, this guy it was in that era of Milan where they spent big money on players and they just didn't hit. So there was a reason why Milan were like, okay, we'll let you go. We'll sell you to Lyon. But what he's done, and that's the difference.
A little bit more.
That's the difference to me between Paqueta and James Maddison. I think with Paqueta, he's got a higher ceiling. With Maddison, though, you have the Premier League proven type of thing. I'm more than happy with either one of them. I don't know who I would necessarily pick in the either or. If I had to choose,
I'd take the Maddison personally.
I'd go Paqueta, just because I think we're in a very, very comfortable situation and there's room to experiment.
Yes.
And also because of, Bruno Guimaraes, the language won't be as difficult because obviously he's buds with him. So for me, I would go Paqueta. But if Maddison comes in instead of Paqueta, that's perfectly fine. Because like I said, there's subtle differences between each players, but they're both top players that are looking for moves possibly. Paqueta definitely is. So that's kind of my take on it. I'll take both of them too. How, why not? So we'll see.
Let's just get both there.
Yeah, exactly. So anything else about Newcastle? Why you think they'll finish 7th? Anything else interesting?
One thing that could pay dividends is Dubravka.
Yeah.
The reason I say that is it's looking optimistic that Schmeichel's leaving Leicester.
He is leaving. He is leaving to OJC.
If we were to be including Dubravka in part of this deal, then you would look at that as a plus. The only thing I will say is I'd be far happier having Dubravka as a number 2 than I would Darlow. I think there's a big
me too.
Darlow and Dubravka.
Especially if we want to go deep in the FA Cup and Carabao Cup, make a semi-final or even a final.
The one thing I will say though is Darlow did come in and fill in, and he had good games. He saved in games at points, but we were always, when Dubravka came back into the side after that first game, he made an error, and after a couple of games, we kind of let out that air and went, right, we know we've got a goalkeeper back. We were happier having Dubravka in goal. So I think that might have something to do, but I totally understand if Dubravka does not want to be a number 2, especially at his age. But I think that could, let's say Dubravka does go and we get Madison in.
Yeah.
I don't know about other people, but are you happy having Darlow as a number 2? There's no doubt that he can be number 2, but if you do want to push in the competitions, as you've just said, mate, I think you need something a little bit more.
I do too. I agree. I think we could get away with it if we played a Borum Wood in the 4th round and we had Dubravka in there. If we played fucking Walsall or something like that, whatever, you could get away with that possibly. But even then, it's like I'd rather have Dubravka. You know what I mean? So, Speaking about, we could wrap it up with Newcastle. So we both got 7, so that's cool. That's cool. And speaking of Schmeichel and the Leicester situation, so Schmeichel is leaving Leicester to go to OGC Nice. I think that's a very good signing for them. And one thing that I have been thinking about actually is who's Leicester going to replace Schmeichel with? I think, and this is just a theory. I haven't seen nothing about this. I think Leicester might go knocking on Everton's door and being like, "Hey, how much you want for Pickford?"
Good shout.
And I think that would benefit Pickford. I think that would be absolutely horrible for Everton's Premier League survival. But financially, you might have to if they throw something silly like 40 or 50 million. I don't know. What do you think of that idea?
I think you've summed it up there, mate. The problem that you've got with that one, I think it's a good call, but you've got the fact that Pickford left Sunderland for £30 million. Are Leicester going to be wanting to pay? I mean, I'm sure Sunderland have a clause in there where they'll get a percentage of that. So how much are you going to have to pay to get Pickford? And on last season's form, is he worth more than 30 million?
I think one of the arguments you could make for Everton selling is, was he crucial for their survival? I think in moments, yes. And you know what? The thing about Everton is they just barely survived. And if Pickford didn't show up in that certain moment, they would have gone down.
Yeah, so there was a game, I think it was the second to last game of the season. He was
exactly.
He pulled off 3 world class saves.
And that's when the pressure was at absolute boiling, make it or break it type point. So it's but if you're Pickford, you take that move all day to Leicester, right?
Could you get Menley for the same money?
Huh?
Could you get the Leeds goalkeeper? I struggle to pronounce his name, so apologies.
Meslier.
Yeah. Could you get him for?
No, I think Meslier would cost you a real pretty penny because number one, he's still very, very young, and number two, he's had years of experience. So I think, honest to God, that would cost more than I think Leeds could get away with charging more, and also because I think with Everton, I don't know. He's just Meslier. He's very young. He's very, very young. And
it seems the more that we look into it, it looks more and more likely that Dubravka would be a good bet for Leicester.
Exactly. So that was just something I wanted to bring up while we're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, where do you have them finishing, and what do you make? They haven't done anything. Do you think 11 to 17th range?
This is going to be the one where the next couple of weeks could be absolutely vital, because if they lose Fofana and Madison, I mean that is massive.
They looked a completely different side without Fofana too.
They did. That kid is a young lad. He makes a big difference to that side.
Makes a huge difference, and none more than if you look at where he came from Saint-Etienne. When Fofana was there until 2018, 19, or 1920, Saint-Etienne they didn't have any relegation battle problems or any of that. Next summer they left, they finished in the bottom half and they were flirting with relegation. The next year they even got worse. And then after that, they're gone. They're in Ligue 2 now. So I think it really does. And obviously Saint-Etienne have a bunch of other departures, but one of their problems was defense. They were scrambling to find center backs. They've tried many, many options. But Fofana, I think the kid's different. I think he could be a superstar. So I think
Big
if they
problem that they had last season was conceding goals from set pieces. Like,
yes,
I'm sure they were top.
awful.
I think they by quite a distance as well. And it doesn't matter what they try to do. I mean, they've got Johnny Evans, who, by all accounts, is, people can make
Very
jokes. He's a very experienced centre half, and you've got to wonder how less. Not only that, you've got the question mark over how fit will Vardy stay for them, and he's getting. This is another
37,
season.
36?
He's getting on. I'll be honest, I can't remember how old. 35, 36, 37. You're in that bracket.
Yeah.
I think I'll be honest. I think he's. I might be wrong, but I'm sure I'll get told in the comment. I think he's on the verge of 35. But
he's 35. 35.
He's still quick. But
yeah.
I think the fact that he is so rapid. We've seen injuries quite regularly last season with him. He'd come back, show a bit of form, he'd get injured. You've got that question again. If he gets injured, they've got Iheanacho, who are 8.
Yeah, and Patson Daka did okay for them last year.
I would say leave them where they are. If all our stars align, we get Maddison and Fofana leaves. However, if them two stay, I do put them in the bracket with us.
Who would they replace then? Do they finish above Forest, and then Forest have to go down here?
Yeah, because I think they'll finish above Forest simply because
10th place.
Yeah, simply because they experienced the experience in the team. And
also, I realized anything changes you want to make here, because obviously this will be Forest are 11th right now. From left to right.
I'll be honest. When you've got 11th to 17th, I could sit here all day and look at them and go, right, well, and I could change it 1,000 times and still not get it right. So I'm quite happy the way it is.
Okay, all right. I just thought Brighton were a bit low. I don't know. Whatever. We'll fuck with it at the end. I just noticed it.
Reason Brighton are low is simply business. I know as much as I agree with you that some of the players they brought in are decent players. Goals.
Young players with potential, but that is what they are right now. We'll see if they transfer. Yeah. Right. Anything else about Leicester though? What do you think of? I think it's also key that they keep a hold of other big players, because imagine if we're talking about this too with Maddison, it benefits us if Fofana goes, because then other players will be like, maybe I should dip. We're talking guys like Luke Thomas, very good left back for them. He emerged last season. Ricardo Pereira is a very good player, right back. Yeah, Kugler Soyunchu's kind of had a dip off, but I still think there's a decent defender in there. Guys like Timothy Castagna, Ndidi, Yuri Tielemans is also being linked with exits too. Kieran Dewsbury Hall, possibly he could want to go. Harvey Barnes. I mean, Patson Daka.
Don't think you can underestimate the. There's no doubt about it. I don't know whether you've followed Castro Schmeichel, but he does quite a few podcasts, and the way that you see him, I'm sure he's probably one of the biggest characters in that dressing room.
Mm-hmm.
That could severely hurt them. Not just the fact his ability as a goalkeeper. I know TalkSport this morning were talking about, is he in the top 10 in Premier League history? There's an argument for it, but for me, I don't think it's top 10. But there's an argument for it.
It's not crazy talk.
Premier League winner,
good debate.
FA Cup winner, Champions League goalkeeper in a side that's not. It wasn't expected to either three. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
So, I think not just as a goalkeeper, as a person, I think he'd be missed at Leicester. So it'd be interesting to see how they react to it.
Yeah.
So it could go either way. Are Leicester going to reinvest? If they do let Maddison go, if we are going to get Maddison, I expect it to happen in the next week, because Leicester will need time to look for replacements.
Yeah. All right, so fair enough. But as of now, got Leicester 10th. Okay. I think in my predictions, I had them 14th or 3rd. No, not that low, I think. I think I had them. Let me pull that up. I had Leicester finishing 10th. All right, so we agree on that. There we go. Next up, who would you like to talk about next out of these? We've got Man City, West Ham, Man United, Spurs, all them guys.
Can I talk about the rivals, the absolute enemy?
Yeah, why not? I got them finishing 6th, personally.
I'd love it if I'd have won it.
Do you got them finishing? Not here. Do you got them finishing?
I have them finishing in the Europa League.
Outside of top 4, same here.
Yeah. Transition period, Ten Hag looks like he's no shit. He doesn't take it.
Yeah.
You know.
No, bro, he's a very, very good manager. My reasoning for why I think it's going to be 6 is because if they lose Ronaldo, you're missing goals. I don't care. Look, I've seen some crazy shit said about Ronaldo. Absolutely crazy shit. Criticizing his. You know what? You know what the fucked up part is? People criticize his professionalism. People forget last year his child died, and he played a few days later.
Yeah. And then you've got Ten Hag saying that he needs to get match fit. I mean, okay, okay. I think it's unfortunate for Man United. As much as I love to laugh at Man United, I hate them with a passion. Their wife supports them, so I get extra pleasure of seeing them suffer. I think it's going to be a transition period. They've got talent in that squad on paper. The as much as I can't stand
some of the names
couple of the individuals.
Right? Yeah.
Mention no names. Bruno Fernandes. Sancho's into his 2nd season now. Maybe he's going to kick on.
Big things are expected of Sancho. He's
and rightly so. When you demand that amount
of that price tag.
Yeah, but I don't see them ahead of Tottenham. I don't see them ahead of Arsenal at the moment, and I don't see them ahead of So
no chance for me. And you know the biggest problem is they're whatever you think of Goldbridge. I remember one thing he says about Man United: they're like a bagel. It's very tasty on the outside, but you've got a glaring hole. The midfield, McFred. Those guys are fucking awful. Fred, and individually, I think Fred is all right. I don't think McTominay is very good. I think he's a workhorse. Can I say one thing about that
quickly?
Yeah.
If McTominay is not good enough to play in Scotland's midfield, then has to play centre back for Scotland. There you are.
I know. No, it's true. It's true. So, until they fix up that midfield, until they get De Jong, which they might even choke that, I can't put them in the top 4. There's just no chance, especially with Martial, Rashford.
There's even a risk of someone like us or Villa overtaking Man United as it stands.
Oh, I think so. Oh, absolutely. Especially if things go tits up. Yeah.
That's all depending on future business that we potentially do, or a Villa, or a Leicester, or I don't know, West Ham do.
Who knows? Even a Crystal Palace. Maybe they catch fucking fire. Who knows? But the problem is that Man United, they made 3 signings. I really like Lisandro Martinez. I think he's obviously versatile. He could play left back, center back, and defensive mid. Yeah. Problem is though with him, this is a drawback, and it's also a positive. He's extremely aggressive, very, very aggressive. He's nicknamed the Butcher of Amsterdam when he played for Ajax. You don't get called the Butcher for nothing, do you? You don't get called the Butcher and you're I'm a nice little guy. No, he is a rough as nails, no nonsense kind of guy, and I rate that. But the problem is that you got to have some discipline, and sometimes he lacks that. So I think there will be moments where they need that grit and that ugly, nasty bite. So that's good, and he knows how to play the Ten Hag way. And that's going to be very important because
I don't know about you.
Yeah.
But I think a big problem that they have is if you look at different 6 players.
Yeah.
You have Rashford, Martial, Sancho, Ronaldo, and Elanga.
Elanga's not, by the way, not prem quality at the moment.
Let's include him in the conversation for the sake of the conversation.
Well, because he was last year. He was, yeah.
Elanga's very late Rashford. So none of them stand above the others when you say who's going to get me the most goals this season. Martial,
Right.
you could argue, has never really been given a season to have a run at being a centre forward at Man United. You could say the same about Rashford. Now, one thing I will say about Rashford is as much criticism he's getting in the last 18 months, he still has over 60 goals in the Premier League, and he's only 22.
He's 24.
The problem is, 24. Sorry, again,
That's
24.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry, my apologies there.
That's not bad.
You need to see that next jump in level. Then you've got Ronaldo into the equation. Is Ronaldo long-term answer to Man United's issues? No, he's going to give you another season and then he's going to be off. So,
he signed a 2-year deal. Yeah.
Do you then have Ronaldo as backup? Do you have Ronaldo sacrifice? He doesn't play as your forward, and you focus your attention. Or, in other words, is Rashford, Martial, Sancho, or Elanga the answer for the future for them? Because if he isn't, then you have to go out and get a striker.
They have to, yeah, and they've been linked with Benjamin Sesko, who we have been too.
Yeah,
and look, I've watched Sesko at RB Salzburg, and I watched him last weekend when they played Sturm Graz. The kid's good. He's got some good technical skill sets for a guy of that stature. I think he's got to work on his first touch a bit sometimes, but that can always be improved. I don't think it is the good move for him to go to Man United at age 19. Because at Man United, over the past few years, what youth player or any player has improved?
And the first thing that you'll hear, Steve, is if Sesko signed for Man United, is Roy Keane go, this is Man United we're talking about. We're signing a 19-year-old
for 40 million. For 40 million. That's not, it's not like a 5 or 10 million. They signed Amad Diallo from Atalanta for 30 million plus. He hasn't kicked the ball for them.
And we haven't gotten on to Man United's biggest problem yet, the midfield.
Yes, the bagel. It's a glaring hole in midfield. Fred is not a defensive mid, and McTominay.
It's like putting a square at the moment. They're putting a square into a circle.
A square peg into a round hole. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. McTominay and Fred is. I mean, Fred when he came to Man United looked a bloody good talent. We were linked with him at that time, but
Man City were too. Guardiola allegedly wanted him.
Yeah, and they dropped him back into an 8 or a 6 rather than, a 10 or a wider, or a narrow winger, for example, which he was doing in, I think it was Shakhtar, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Shakhtar Donetsk. Yes.
And you do see flashes of technical good play from Fred, but he's not a holding he's not a midfielder, centre midfielder.
Yeah.
And then you've also got the fact that they've got Mr. Overrated at the back.
No one rates Maguire, bro.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
He didn't just have a bad season compared to a Premier, an England international having a season that bad at the beginning of the season, then having everything that went on and with his form and then getting back in the England squad when there was other England defenders, notably Dan Burn.
Playing for Fikayo Tomori.
I mean, you've got to wonder the politics of ego.
I think his ego is out of this world, and same with Dean Henderson.
And he's like a robot as well, isn't he? When you listen to his interviews for Man United, it's robotic. It's so robotic.
And whenever they lose a big game, he's nowhere to be seen post-match. He's not a captain. He's not a captain. And for that reason, they're finishing 6th to me. I think we could, honest to God,
we could sit and do you know this? We could sit here and talk an hour on Man United.
Yeah.
Easy.
Easy. Yeah. So. West Ham, where you got that?
I think West Ham finish above.
I think they're fifth.
Finish above Man United.
I got them finishing 5th. I don't know about you.
Because
I'm excited.
It's going to be striker. The thing's going to be for me striker.
Scamacca.
I've seen a bit of. I wouldn't say I'm up to date. I know what his strengths and his weaknesses are, but I haven't seen enough of him to say
right.
He's going to take them to another. Let's put it into perspective. Mikel Antonio, as much as he's not an out-and-out striker, he does a bloody good job for West Ham.
He could score a few more goals, but you know what? The things that Mikel Antonio brings as a forward, he causes problems. He's a physical forward. He has days where he's quick. He's quick too.
He has days where 3 defenders isn't enough on him. You know,
he causes chaos, diversion. He gets people on him, like you said, the 3 guys. He does a job for him, and I think with Scamacca, he's a different kind of player. With Scamacca, as Sassuolo, he scored outside of the box goals. He scores a lot of different kind of goals with either foot. I've seen him do it, headers. He's a nuisance also, like Mikel Antonio.
If West Ham get Tosic, I think they finish above Man United.
If they get who?
Tosic from Stuttgart.
You mean who from Stuttgart? Sasa Kalajdzic?
No, sorry, I can't think of his name. They won the Europa League.
Oh, Kostic.
Kostic, thank you.
Thank you very much. Kostic, left wing back.
Why I'm getting that wrong there? Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Left footer, mate.
He's a special player.
Yeah,
special.
I think it's a game changer for them because West Ham have got some good wingers.
Fornals does a really good job.
One comes in, there's no change in the quality. For me, that is a jump. But Bowen, yes, on the right hand side is different.
Benrahma
on the left hand side.
Benrahma's a proper left winger too.
I like Benrahma in the middle. I'll be honest. I think he's better. Yeah. But one thing he does is cross the ball. His deliveries from corners is fantastic. He's not frightened to shoot. And he can get up and down. You know, I remember, I think it was when West Ham played, he was up and down that left side, up and down. And, you know, he's
got a third lung.
Yeah.
A third lung.
He could be a massive difference to them. The only thing I will say is you've got the squad of Man United. Let's be honest. But I quite find if there's a team going to pit us to break into that mould, it'll either be West Ham or Villa.
Now, what do you think? Now, here's the thing. I'm going to go also West Ham 5th over Man United just because I really, really, if I was a West Ham fan, I'm thrilled with David Moyes, and I'm very, very confident in that because he's turned his reputation around. And because I didn't watch football when he was at Everton. Is there something that he's changed about the way he's managed, or are there resemblances to this Everton side?
There's resemblances. If you look at the likes of Kevin Morales, very like Kostic, Tim Cahill is a little bit like in the sense of, that's a bad example, Tim Cahill, but the one thing his teams always did was compete. They were organised, and when they did go forward, they did it with belief. And I think West Ham do that. It's very strange. You could put blue strips on them and think it was the old Everton side.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion.
Wow.
I may be entirely wrong. The only thing I will say is it must be hard on him considering he was at West Ham. He kept them up, and then they fobbed them off. And then when the shit hit the fan, they go back to him again. And the way he did it with Everton was very slow.
Right.
He did it. He started off with the likes of Thomas Rosiński and players like that, where he took gambles on them. And do you know what it is? He's done that. He's done that with Bowen. He's done that with players like
Benrahma was bought from Brentford, who were in the championship.
A lot of people raised their eyebrows and went, really? 30 million?
Craig Dawson, another example of a unfavored, like, oh, it's Craig Dawson.
In a player that, if anyone deserved an England call-up, just to get a cap, just to get involved in a squad, I think he was the highest goal-scoring English centre-half.
Yeah.
He was top for aerials, won in his own box. He's, as much as he might be limited when the ball's at his feet, I don't care. He can defend.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's a bit like that goalkeeper thing. Oh, when he might not be able to pass a 60-yard pass like Edison. Tough. He knows how to keep the ball out of the back of the net. And Craig Dawson,
he's a good defender.
He's a threat in the box. Yeah. In the opposing box as well. I'm not suggesting he should get in the England squad and stay in it, but he should have been given an opportunity against
a cap.
Yeah, he should have been given an opportunity.
As to me, with that kind of stuff, it's the manager's paying attention and recognizing and following through with what Gareth Southgate says. He says that players in form and whatever. Well, follow through with that. Give the guys that were good in the past season an England cap and call up, because that's what you said you'd do, is following through.
I think the compliment that I can give David Moyes is if you look at these sides, there's nothing complicated about his teams.
Yes.
And sometimes the simple things are effective. Yeah. They work hard, they're organised, and they get forward together. And he has a style of playing which he likes movement. He likes to have two midfielders that have a little bit about them where they can get up and down. One that's good on the ball, and he has one that can turn somebody, and his two wingers can do both things. They get back and they get forward. And obviously, he's been limited in the last 18 months that he's really only had Antonio to call for as a striker. If you'd given him that Man United team, I'd be seeing it the other way around. I think he'd do. I've not seen enough Ten Hag, but let's say last season, I think he would have done better last season than Rangnick.
Well, Rangnick wasn't. Yeah. Well, just a real quick caveat: Rangnick ain't a manager. That was never his expertise. He's a sporting director. That would be like putting Dan Ashworth as manager and expecting him to do well. Just wanted to put that out there. But I agree with you. Moyes, it didn't work out for him at Man United and some other stints that he had. But he's a manager just continually on the rise. And they got Europe again. So, but are you going to go?
This is the first season he's really had any money to spend.
Exactly. And that's why I am going West Ham 5th, Manchester United 6th. And I think West Ham could really knock on the door for UCL because they were close last year, and that was without a striker. And I'm just going to go – I think Scamacca will fit the way that Moyes wants to play, and I think he's going to get them goals that they didn't last year. So
he's like the Croatian that they had up front back in the day. I can't remember his name. Jelevic. Everton signed a striker called Jelevic back in the day, and he did a good job for them. So it's a very similar signing, but there's a couple of things that you could turn on and say. Right. The fact that West Ham's going to have European football next season could affect their league form.
Right. But it didn't really screw with them that much. They finished 7th. Sure.
That's what I was going to say. Last season, I think it was simply because they had a limited squad. This season, the squad's not going to be as limited.
They finished 2 or 3 points behind Man United, by the way. Exactly. Also. So yeah, I honest to God, I think they'll finish above them because they're getting the backing and they got that striker. And I think they could do 1 or 2 more things. I don't know. That's just me. Do you have them finishing over Man United?
I think for first time in a long time, we'll probably agree.
There you go. But do you want to talk about 4th place? Who you got 4th?
Arsenal.
Oh, God. Okay. Explain yourself.
Now, I either say Arsenal are finishing 4th or they're going to have a disaster.
I'm going with disaster. I think that 8th. I got them 8th, which is a disaster.
I think Zinchenko is a better signing than what people give it credit.
Oh, no, Zinchenko's fantastic. Good. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Jesus, it's hard to gauge with Jesus, isn't it? I mean, you look at him in pre-season, you think it's Ronaldo reincarnated. Where's the original R9 reincarnated? Yeah, I'm joking there, by the way, before anyone has a go. But
yeah,
Saka. But you look at their front 7: Saka, Martinelli, who I think is going to be. He could be anything he wants to be, Martinelli, potentially.
Sky's the limit. Injuries are my issue with him.
You know, you've got Emile Smith-Rowe, you've got Eddie Nketiah. As much as people say, well, is he good enough? I think he is. You know, Odegaard's creative as you want to be. Vieira's a good player. You look at that part of the Arsenal and they're sorted. However, at the back, I'm a fan of Ben White and I'm a fan of Gabriel. But
I'm a huge fan of William Saliba, by the way. Absolutely think the world of that kid. I watched him at Marseille a lot last year because I watch a lot of French. He was fantastic. He was one of the best center backs in Europe last season for a very good Marseille team. So I think that
where I worry for them is right back.
Yeah, because Cedric is not good enough. Bellerin is not good enough.
Tomisu's as good as he is defensively, doesn't get forward enough.
And the injuries last year. He was out 2 months with a calf strain, which is really odd because that's not usually an injury. That's like a 1 or 2 week thing. So that was odd.
And another thing that we've not even went into, I mean, they've got a £76 million winger on the bench.
Pepe.
Or 67 million or whatever it was.
That's my problem with Arteta. I feel like he wastes a lot of money. I feel like he wastes way too much money.
Have you seen the preview for the Amazon Prime documentary?
I think so.
I seen it, and I may be on my own here, but this was a clip I seen where he's sitting in the dressing room and he asks one of the kit guys or coaches or physios or whatever it to be to address the team, and the whole team sitting in front of him. And as a fan, I'm sure the Arsenal fans will think it's brilliant, but as a neutral, it was cringeworthy. Yeah. He's sitting there, this is my club, this is how much I love. I've been here for 30 years. You know, you are a great team. I've seen some great teams here. I've seen the Invincible squad. You guys are a great team. And it is, as much as it's great to see Mikel Arteta trying to get his staff involved, it was, it was one of them, really?
Bro, the way he talks pisses me off, too. I don't know. I don't know.
I used to like it until I seen this yesterday, and I was like, oh, God, really? Really? So that's the only worry I have for Arsenal. Not the squad, the manager. I love the style of play that he's
the squad. I'm worried. I'm worried about the squad though too, because what happens if Jesus gets injured? Is Nketiah really that guy? I don't think so. I think
Eddie Nketiah could do a job if he went to someone like Villa or something.
Exactly. I don't know. Who do you got finishing third though?
Hang on. Have we not got fourth to first yet?
Oh, we need. Oh, right. Because we've got West Ham.
No Farrell Boardman, but there's four teams left still, isn't there?
Oh, hold on. So wait. Newcastle 7th, Man United 6th. So 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, there we go. That's what we needed. Yes, and this would make sense, right? Arsenal 4th. So we have 3. Yeah,
Chelsea 4th.
Where do you think? Oh yeah, Chelsea 4.
In Chelsea, out of the top 4, I'm going to pick out the top 4. The one side that I think could drop into the category below Chelsea are the one.
Oh.
Just got a thing with Tuchel. I think the proverbial might hit the fan at some point.
I think it could too, to be fair.
Spurs, for me, are better managed, better coached.
So wait, you think Chelsea might not get top 4? Because we need to have 3 in here, right?
They are the biggest out of the recognised top 4.
So we'll do because obviously those guys are battle for the title.
I'd say Chelsea are the one the biggest at risk. I think let's look at it last season. Let's look at it as like this is why I base this on. If you look at Tuchel's resources that he had at his disposal last season, and you look at Mikel Arteta's, I would say Mikel Arteta did a better job than Tuchel. I'm not saying that.
Honestly, I don't even rate Arteta, but you're right.
I
would agree. Yeah.
How many top players? I mean, look at Callum Hudson-Odoi, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. There's countless the amount of top talent that Chelsea have that don't even get on their bench. Arsenal would take that. I think, to be honest, Rory Jennings and True Geordie had this argument. And I totally agree with True Geordie when he put Rory in his place, in my opinion, and said, look, if you're going to have a go at Tuchel, you've got to give praise to Mikel Arteta. And as much as I kind of have said there, my worry is Mikel Arteta. It's simply only because I think he oversteps the boundary at times with his passion. There's a point where, after what I've seen a couple of days ago, and even when you see on the touchline, you can see why they're a little bit inconsistent because he is. But I think Chelsea are biggest, at more risk of, as much as money, they might go and spend £100 million between now and the end of the window. They might sign Frankie de Jong. They might sign.
You keep saying Luke.
I know. It's because I just wanted him to succeed at Newcastle. That's what it was. And I always signed him on Football Manager when I was younger, so that's probably why. But Frankie de Jong, they might go and sign him. They might go and sign another striker. God knows what they're going to do. But I just think the style of play is, let's be honest, it's terrible. And they're at risk. They're at risk. And I don't think the squad are confident either.
Right? No. I don't know. The thing with Chelsea, I think one of my biggest problems with Tuchel is I think he stifles his attackers a bit too much for my liking. And I think a lot of it's relying on Mason Mount. And I like Mason Mount. I think he's a good player, but I don't know if I want my side to be completely reliant on him. They also rely a lot on N'Golo Kante, and I think he's taken a little bit of a drop-off. Still think he's a very good midfielder. Same thing with Jorginho. I'm very, very flip-flop about him. Is he good or is he kind of all right? I don't know.
What I don't understand, Steve, is there's a lot of times last season when Kante was reportedly fit and he got 10, 15 minutes. The guy is that good that we've, Cloud Makelele made that role his own. And then we now call it the N'Golo Kante role. You're not playing him. I mean, and then when he comes on, why wouldn't you have him? Why wouldn't you have that in your side and then build from what he does? On a coaching basis, I don't get it. I really don't.
So where do you think, man? Because I gotta sort out this mess.
I know. I say Man City win the league.
Okay.
Liverpool
second.
I think it's going to be severely close. For whoever finishes second between Liverpool and Man City, Spurs are going to be up their backsides, I think.
Spurs third, Arsenal fourth.
Yeah.
Chelsea fifth, West Ham sixth.
I mean, West Ham even could push Chelsea. But I think the Chelsea squad is going to be the thing that keeps them.
I honestly, you know what? I might want to do this, to be honest.
Mate, I would die. Well, I wouldn't say die a happy man if we finish, but mate, that would make my day. But I think that's been. I mean, I'm having a beer, you're not, but you'd think it.
We got to kick we got to kick, because remember, this is 5th, 6th, 7th, so we have to have 3 in here. Chelsea and West Ham, for me, have to stay.
So I would say I would say it's us. Yeah, that goes out of that.
Because for me prediction-wise, I've got Man City champions, Liverpool 2nd, Tottenham 3rd, Chelsea 4th. Now, where I differ from you is I got Chelsea in top 4 and I've got Arsenal 8th.
I think Raheem Sterling could be the saviour for Chelsea this season, potentially. If they hadn't signed Raheem Sterling, this is just me. I just don't like the way they've done the business, and I don't like the way they've been in the last 12 months. I think they've gone backwards.
I think they have, even if you don't think it's backwards, I think bare minimum stagnant.
Yeah.
Stagnant, but, no progress or slight.
But it's like it's like Tuchel said himself: if you stand still on an escalator, you go backwards, don't you? You got to keep walking forwards. So.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a couple of surprises in there. If there's a couple of surprises, I'd say Villa might be one of them. Brighton, we might have gotten quite wrong, or bang on even. But
actually, you know what? I am going to make the case for Man United 8th because let's think about it like this, right? Remember all those leaks last year, and they had a nice guy as a manager. So Ten Hag is coming in, and he's not fucking around. I think there are gonna be some growing pains. I think some of those players.
2 seconds. I'm gonna have to nip off for a second.
No worries. Basically, what I think maybe possibly we could do. There could be a case where Man United finish 8th, because I honestly think that some of those players are gonna be so not ready for a disciplinarian like Ten Hag to come in. I don't know. I feel like the feeling at the feeling at Man United right now is not a great one. And I think they still need to do a lot in the transfer window. To be honest, they need a midfielder, man. They need 2 or 3. I mean, Matic last year for them was actually pretty good when he tried to play. So I don't know. I'm kind of, I think they could have a really, really, really poor season. Not West Ham. I think West Ham are going to do amazing, to be honest with you. But, I think this is what Andy's going to go with. He's got Man City champions, Liverpool 2nd, Spurs 3rd, Arsenal 4th, Chelsea 5th, West Ham 6th, Newcastle 7th, Man United 8th, Aston Villa 9th, and Andy's back. What's going on? Now, what do you want to make for changes for your final table?
Man United will finish above us.
Okay, so we'll finish 8. You think? Yeah.
That's what my head's telling us, but I'd so love it. That would. Better than my wedding day, but it wouldn't. You know what I mean? Right, Man City, Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal.
Now, why do you think Man City are going to – or sorry, go on. What were you going to say?
I totally get the argument, what you were making before, Arsenal and Chelsea. Chelsea's squad is by far superior to Arsenal's. But I think they may have a little bit of a wobble this season, Chelsea, and I think Tuchel will probably not last till the World Cup.
I mean, they brought in Koulibaly. He's going to be a menace defensively, but I don't think Chelsea's problem is necessarily defensively. At times it was last year, but...
Who was the top goal scorer last season? Mason Mount?
No, it was Jorginho, I think. He had 7 or 8 goals from the penalty spot. That's what I mean. That's what I mean when I say he stifles his attack. Tuchel. You have your
sure Jorginho? I'm sure Mason Mount got 11 goals.
You might be right.
But either way, I mean, if either one of you are right, that's not good enough for a top 4 side. And for a team that really should be challenging, not just in the Premier League, but challenging in the latter stages of the Champions League. So,
right.
I think that's where their trouble lies. And I think that comes from Tuchel's style of play.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I know. Yeah. I
As
just
much
think
as they organise.
I think teams have figured out Chelsea, to be honest.
Agreed.
They've got to really change up. Now, going from Chelsea, go ahead.
I'm gonna make a prediction that if anyone's gonna jump in between Man City and Liverpool, i.e. break that top two, I don't think any will, but if any of them do, it'll be Spurs.
It will be, yeah, I think so too. Conte is a world-class manager. There's no denying it. And you know what?
He's legit, man. He's legit, yeah.
He does real damage in his second year at a club. Remember, out of the past 10 seasons, Conte's been a manager. No matter where he goes, 8 out of those 10, he's been domestic champion. He's won titles at Juventus, Inter Milan, Chelsea. I mean, the guy is a winner. Just like
100%.
Mourinho. Just like Mourinho, he's a winner on a lesser scale, but more relevant. He's been winning. So, I mean,
is there any that you would point out and say, Andy, I think you bang off the mark there? Or more the point?
Yes, Arsenal. Arsenal top 4 to me is absurd. But that's just me.
I want to know what everyone else thinks. I literally, please, guys, get in the comments. I do not care how you want to tell us. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Just
now,
get the comments in and tell us where I'm wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Where I'm right. Hopefully right.
Yeah. Now, real quick, because the video is 1 hour 16, just give me one big reason why Man City, in your opinion, will win over Liverpool.
Pep. Foden.
Well, to that I say Klopp. He's not a bad manager either. It's pretty decent.
Foden, I think you're going to see Foden hit the next level.
You know who else you're going to see from Man City? Julian Alvarez. I think that kid is legit.
Yeah. He's a good.
I think he's gonna get at least 20 goals across all competitions. He's gonna get game time because Haaland, I think, will pick up little nicks and rotation, and I think he'll score. He scored in the Community Shield, so
it's going to be interesting to see 10 games in when Haaland might only have 2 or 3 goals when everyone's going, "Oh my God, what's going on?" You know.
Yeah.
That guy will get 20 goals a season. No, if he plays 30 games this season, he will get 20 goals. I've got no doubt. It's whether he plays 30 games. There's going to be games where he is absolutely unstoppable. I've got no doubt that they will play someone like a Southampton and he will have 3 or 4 goals, or a Bournemouth, or a Fulham, or even us. Any team, if the service is there and he starts clicking, it's going to be hard to stop him. But I think for me, the reason I put Man City above Liverpool is simply experience. But I will say one thing. I'd be quite happy if that role was reversed and Man City actually won the Champions League rather than the league.
Yeah.
Because then that would solidify Man City as we are a top club now.
Yeah, it would obviously their status as a top club, but it would put them into that
stratosphere,
Yeah, and the dynasty would truly be it already is one of the greatest, but it would really have a case as being the best possibly.
And you never know. If we get some form of European football, Pep might say, now I'm saying this tongue-in-cheek, people. Do you know what it is? My time at Man City's done. I fancy a new challenge.
Ooh. That's a little precursor there.
I'm literally just taking them.
Look, here's the thing. Pep only goes to clubs that have money to spend. We're the richest one. So it's
Man
not
City,
out of the realm. Not out of the
they'd
realm.
only won a couple of league titles by the time we went there. So.
Yeah, exactly. No,
this is only PR, honestly.
Fair enough. So, Andy, you've went with Man City as your champions. Liverpool 2nd, Spurs 3rd, Arsenal 4th, Chelsea 5th, West Ham 6th, Man United 7th, Newcastle 8th, Aston Villa 9th, Leicester 10th, Nottingham Forest, 11th. Brentford, 12th. Wolves, 13th. Crystal Palace, 14th. Brighton, 15th. Everton, 16th. 17th. Fulham. Southampton relegated at 18th. Leeds at 19th. And bottom of the barrel, Bournemouth to go down. Anything you're going to change up? Or are you pretty good with those?
I just want to know what the odds on that is, because I'm going to put a bet on it. Just for the sake of it.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, why not? It could land out perfectly. Exactly.
If I get 6 out of them right, I'll be happy.
I know, right? Yeah, I'd be happy for you, man. It's tricky. This league is not easy at all to predict. But,
when I say 6, I mean the actual position, not like the category. I mean the actual position.
Right, right.
We know where Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham, Liverpool, and Man City are going to be.
Yeah.
I mean like the actual position, but it's all in fun, And exactly. Like I say, the reason that I'm quite probably outspoken and the way I say it's because it pops in my head and I say it. I probably shouldn't sometimes, but
No, it's all right. Andy. I love you for it, man. I really do. I think it's important. It's important in today's world to just speak your mind because not many people feel brave enough to. But anyways, thank you guys for watching our very, very extensive. We've given you about 2 hours worth of content to chew on. So if you've made it this far to listen to us do the Prem predictions, thank you so much. You guys are legends. And definitely check out the membership on Newcastle Fans TV. Good value for money, all that, yada, yada, yada. And